Hi, welcome to Portage County Matters. I'm Patty Dreier, Portage County Executive. I'm really excited about this show today. You probably can tell it's got a little bit of a patriotic theme based on the scarf that I'm wearing today. Today my guests are Michael Clements, he's our Veteran Service Officer, and Duane Miskulin. He's the chair of the Portage County Allied Military Veterans Council. And I'm really excited about the theme that we're taping, because this week of the taping is the week of Veterans Day. Before we get to the Veterans theme of the show, I'd like to hit on a couple of news notes. I think the biggest news of all for this month of November, of the taping here, is that the Portage County Board of Supervisors passed without amendment the 2013 county budget that I had proposed. It's a tight and balanced budget in the amount of about $107.7 million. Our tax levy is about $24.9 million, and this year's budget is 1.7% over the 2012 budget. So especially as you can see the prices rising in our own homes and communities, it's holding the line. It's holding the line, and we're still maintaining all services, and all without increasing our operating levy. And we've even enhanced some services in targeted areas of growing needs or anticipated needs. The tax rate is 5.25, or $5.25 per 1,000 of home value. The levy that did go up is our EMS levy, and that's at 3 cents up from last year to $1.1 million to pay for our countywide ambulance system. The themes of the budget for 2013 are health and safety and service and strategy, and it includes reorganizations of both our child support and our emergency management departments. So a commendation to all of the staff that have worked really hard on this budget. I think it's an outstanding budget, and it will keep us moving forward as a county. Other news notes: our solid waste administrator search and screen process is underway. John Gardner, our current solid waste administrator, was in a limited term position to help us through a grand transition of that department and to get us on strong financial footing again, and we are. And so it's time for us to move to hire a permanent administrator. This is a half-time position, and very soon there should be news about who the new administrator will be to help us work with the solid waste board in solid waste and recycling programs across the county. Another news note relates to a retirement of a key position. Our emergency management director, Sandra Curtis, who's been in her position serving the county for about 25 years, is announcing retirement in early December, and so the recruitment process is already begun, and I'm looking forward to hiring our new emergency management director in the new year. Our McDill Dam project is finished, and it came in under budget. The details of that will be shared through the news. We're finalizing those numbers now. I've gotten preliminary reports through our engineering and highway staff, and we'll look forward to the pond being refilled in the springtime. That's a DNR's decision, not the county decision. Our highway department, on another note, has reported being under budget on construction projects, multiple construction projects this year. So coming in around $90,000 under budget, because they've worked so hard to manage all the fiscal nature of the projects. And I know everybody at the Highway Committee was really very excited to hear about that fiscal, you know, I would say success when you're able to save money on very high cost projects. And the county board in early November, the county board, when it met in an early November meeting, approved the use of contingency funds in the amount not to exceed $40,000 for human health hazard abatement, human health hazard abatement and zoning enforcement for the Alm Road property in the town of Amherst, another high profile situation in our county. So well underway by the time this show airs. we'll have already taken care of those health hazards and be poised for the next sets of stages in the cleanup process for that property. So that's it for news today. And now I'd like to turn to my awesome guests today, my esteemed guests, Mike Clements and Duane Miskulin. Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Pat.
you. Thank you, Patty.
So glad. We spent some time earlier this week. We had a session with a group of leaders in the veterans community here in Portage County, and we talked about all sorts of issues, and it's just great to see you guys both only a couple of days later. So anyway, Mike, let's start with you as our Veteran Service Officer here in Portage County. What I'd like to have everybody understand is, what does a Veteran Service Officer do? And tell everybody a little bit about how long you've been here and how that role fits into your life.
Okay. As a County Veteran Service Officer, CVSO is the acronym for that. It's a position that is mandated by state statute under Chapter 45, and every county in the state of Wisconsin has a County Veteran Service Officer that performs the functions that I do. I've been in this position approximately 10 years. Prior to that, I worked at the federal VA. I was a contracting officer for the federal VA, and I started my VA career out in the prosthetics department, working with severely injured veterans. Prior to that, I'm a career military person, retired from the Navy. I'm a former Marine. And that kind of brings us up to today. I've been here since November of 2002. And I perform many functions. I wear many hats in my job.
I've seen you wear a lot of them.
Not only am I would say, a service coordinator, but I'm also, more importantly, I believe, a veterans advocate. I do many things I not only assist veterans, I assist their dependents, their survivors, and I assist active military and reservists actively seek the benefits and entitlements they have coming to them. Mm-hmm. In a nutshell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I so appreciate that, having, being a military wife in my background for 12 years while Tom was on active duty, side by side, knowing a little bit about how those benefits work and how the lifestyle of being an active duty military member is, and how it challenges a family, how family supports are really important, and how supports for those individuals to be able to do their best on the front line or the back line is all important in the military, how it all fits together. So again, I just want to start out by saying thank you, Mike, because I know we have almost 5,000 veterans in Portage County right now. Again, my husband's only one of them. And you do so much, you give so much, so passionately from your heart, and that is clear to see in service, continued service to your country by serving the veterans in our community. And you're kind of like a lifeline sometimes for folks, or you're the bright light to some folks that are looking for an answer, a way, a pathway, access, whatever it is. So again, thank you.
Thank you,
It's
Patty.
really important work.
I view my position as helping my brothers and sisters, and I take that mission seriously, and I take it to heart.
Well, yeah, we notice. And Duane, wow, talk about a man with an amazing background too, and lots of even national leadership in service to veterans and veterans organizations. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us about you some more, and about your role, and how you guys are connected in serving veterans in our community.
Yes, we work very well together, and the council that we have is to help veterans and their spouses and their families throughout the community. And we need to get them all working together. We have 13 different veteran service organizations in the county, and we definitely need to have them all working together, and it is beginning to work that way.
So the Allied Military Veterans Council that you're chair of, Duane, is a board. I'm just think of it as a board of the leaders on other veterans organizational boards.
Exactly.
In our community, so it's like a communication and a coordination hub, the way I see it.
Yes, we our goal is to get them all working together, all the different veteran service organizations, and most of the time we have the commanders from each one of those and their members, whether they're officers or just not just a member. A lot of people will say, you know, I served from here to here, and if you look around at these organizations and the things that go on in the community, Portage County, they are still serving. So we never stop serving. So that's what's good.
And you're one of those people, Duane. Tell
yeah.
everybody a little bit about you and your military heritage.
I was in the Air Force for, now I'm going to say the 6 years, and I guess I never stopped serving. My overseas assignment was Ankara, Turkey for 18 months, crypto, classified communications, and repair. Came back, joined the AMVETS, and worked my way up through the post, the district, the state, national district, and national finance officer for 2 years, national second vice, national first vice, and then national commander for a year.
What does a national commander do?
The national commander represents all American veterans throughout the nation. And then I had the opportunity to represent them throughout the world, spending a week in Korea, South Korea, a week in Taiwan, Republic of China, and London, England, and Sheerness, France, Brussels, Belgium, at the World War I cemetery there. So I've been around the world, and it is going to be it is a memorable thing of my life.
So when you're representing veterans, it means you're representing them to, say, leaders like the President of the United States and helping to shape how the VA works, for example, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
I have
key.
met with the President Obama in my term of National Commander 4 times at the White House, in which he asked for me to come down, spend some time with him, and tell him what I was looking for the American veterans.
Wow, truly amazing. Well, all right, so we've got the Allied Military Veterans Council, we've got the Veteran Services Officer. Now, you guys work together in the community, and let's talk about the mission of the CVSO, and then how come we're sitting together at this show. I think that this is a really cool message for folks in the community to understand.
As the County Veteran Service Officer, I really couldn't do my job without the support of, here's another acronym, VSOs, Veteran Service Organizations, in this county. They are critical to my success, and I need their support to accomplish the mission of the Veteran Service Office, which is to help veterans, their dependents, survivors, and military personnel access their duly earned benefits. I couldn't do my job without them, and I really appreciate their support.
So a lot of times, Duane, for example, through the Veterans Council, you might be identifying a need, right?
Yes.
Just identifying a need for an individual or a group, a certain type of veteran maybe, or a situation that veterans are encountering, and then you may share that information with Mike in the county government, and then Mike can take that and we can see about helping to find solutions. Do I get that right? Is that...
Yes, and you know, it's not just helping the veterans and their families. There's the holidays, the Veterans Days, the Memorial Day, the different days of the year, which Mike is very instrumental in putting together. So there's a lot more work than just his main office of taking care of veterans with claims and their families.
Now, Mike, your office has you have one staff member helping you.
Yes.
Chrissy. So, all right, talk about what you do on a daily basis as the Veteran Service Officer in our county. How are you linking people to resources, and what kind of resources we're talking about, please?
My daily function as a Veteran Service Officer is quite varied, and typically in a typical day I meet face-to-face, one-on-one with veterans, their spouses or dependents to discuss their benefits and perhaps put in claims or assist them with a problem they may be having with the government. I interface with for representatives from the federal VA along with the State Department of Veterans Affairs, and I interface with elected officials on the national level if there's perhaps a pay problem with a military member or a pay problem with a retired individual. So it's just, it's a wide array of benefits and it includes many things such as health care, education, survivor benefits, pensions, a vast array of benefits.
When my husband and when Tom was stationed overseas in Germany, I remember the educational benefits in particular that gave Tom an opportunity to go on to earn his master's degree on, with certain benefits that would assist in paying for that education. How does it work today?
There's an interesting program that the state of Wisconsin has. It's called the Wisconsin GI Bill. And if you were a veteran who had a home of record of Wisconsin when you entered the military, you have 128 tuition-free credits to use in any UW or technical school in this state. There's no limit on how far you can use that education benefit for. You can, if you have a bachelor's, you can use it for a master's degree. If you have a master's, you can use it for a doctorate's. So basically, you have a pool of 128 tuition-free credits to use. Now, the Wisconsin GI Bill there's more to it than just the benefit for the veteran. There's a benefit for the spouse of a disabled veteran, 30% or more, that's rated 30% or more disabled by the federal VA. The spouse and children of a disabled veteran under the Wisconsin GI Bill go tuition and fee-free to any UW or technical school if they have the 30% or more service-connected disability and they're a Wisconsin resident. So that is a huge benefit for veterans, especially for injured veterans and their families.
And then what about other benefits? What about benefits related to health, for example? Talk about those a little bit.
Health benefits are available to veterans. The VA has what they call a special eligibility category. In other words, if you're a veteran exposed to radiation or you served in Vietnam or Korea on the DMZ during a certain period and you were exposed to Agent Orange, or if you have a service-connected disability, you were a former prisoner of war, or if you have a Purple Heart. That's what we call special eligibility. Those veterans don't have to do a means test to enroll in the VA. There are basically two kinds of veterans. There are service-connected veterans and non-service-connected veterans. Service-connected veterans received an injury, disease, or illness in the line of duty and are in receipt of disability compensation for that. Non-service-connected veterans either never were injured or had a chronic disease, illness, or injury, or never put a claim in for it, which is where I come in my discussion with veterans, and I try to find out perhaps they did break an ankle or a foot or something like that when they were on active duty and help them process claims for that disability through the VA.
And in your role then, if I was going to try to interpret this back to the viewers of the show right now, is to help people get connected with the resources that are available to them. It's a lot. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to understand, but you're a guy that's continuing to get education around all of this, all the updates that come through the federal government, and then you're able to be their conduit to those benefits.
I not only assist them get their benefits, I'm an accredited Veteran Service Officer from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Office of General Counsel, and what that means is I have legal standing to represent veterans and their dependents in legal actions before the VA. So not only am I their advocate, I'm accredited through many veterans organizations like Disabled American Veterans, National Association of County Veteran Service Officers, Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, and many other organizations. I'm an accredited rep for them. So I work with other service officers in Milwaukee to represent veterans in their disability claims. Basically what I do is I meet with the veteran or surviving spouse or dependent and get the history, put the claim, prepare the claim, And basically, I'm the one doing all the paperwork and strategizing the claim, and I forward the claim to a service officer in Milwaukee, and we together work the claim and to its conclusion.
Interesting. And so, Duane, if you're, out in our community, about how many people would you think are members of various of our 13 military organizations, veterans organizations? What would be your guess? I'm just trying to think about the numbers of people.
It's in the thousands.
Right. Wow.
Our post alone has 242, and we're not the largest. So there are thousands of veterans in the community.
Wow. And
that
so
are complete, are still active. Yes.
So when you're out there in your role in our community, I mean, you're helping to organize a number of different events, and I mean, I see you everywhere that veterans are, I think. You're a lovely face of our whole community around service to veterans. What are some of the things that you believe are needs or topics or themes of the work of our veteran service organizations today? I want to bridge this back to the things that Mike does for individuals. Really, I'm trying to look at that bigger picture in the community.
I think the biggest thing that we do is we do community service. We service the veterans' homes, the hospitals, and the community. And that's whether it's a food bank. A little while back, we bought a dog from Michigan that was the dog for a wounded veteran here in Stevens Point. And we do a lot of community service, and many of the veterans in the organizations is what they do and want to do.
Like the rifle squad work during ceremonies, like going out and raising money. You all were sharing with me at the listening session for veterans earlier this week that there was a woman and 2 children. Her husband was deployed overseas, and they needed some extra financial assistance to take care of some immediate needs at home, and your organization found a way to do that through the funds that that you all raised to be able to, again, kind of walk the talk of veterans taking care of veterans.
We give a lot of respect to the veterans, and many times we forget about the wife that's home with the kids, and we need to take care of them as well. They are doing a great sacrifice as well as going without their husband or their wife who is in the military.
Right. Sometimes we stereotype and think that it's the men that are deployed, but many women are as well, with the reverse scenario. And I know we were really extra conscious about that in our own military community when I was living in those military communities in various parts of the world where we were stationed. Talk for a moment, Mike, I'm going to go back here to the other services that you provide out of the office. We've got maybe 5 minutes in the show or so left. And I want to talk about graves and burials and flags and death certificates and lots of things that are part of the service that you also bring. I know my father-in-law, a World War II veteran, just passed away in September, and we will be going to our veteran service officer over in Outagamie County to be able to take care of making sure he's got military honors on his grave, for example.
One of the functions of my office is I have a responsibility to keep track of all the veterans that are interred in this county. And I report information to the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs for their database on all the veterans that are interred in this county.
How many do you think there are, Mike?
We have right now about 4,800 actual graves in the county is around 4,975 last count. And as part of that process, when a veteran passes away, I'm the contact that the survivors come to, and we help them file survivor claims. We issue flag holders to the spouses. That's important for the families to know that they can get a flag holder from my office for that veteran. We order markers for the grave, and those are provided free of charge from the federal government, the VA, for the survivors of that veteran. I process claims and anything related to a veteran's passing. That includes insurance claims that that veteran might have had through the VA. We help the survivors obtain those monies and those benefits.
And I know a lot of the military organizations are out there in, for example, putting all the flags on graves for Memorial Day and so on. Duane, you're connected to groups doing that, aren't you?
Exactly. One of the biggest things that I feel that the veteran service organizations in Portage County do is the Honor Guard. We do military funerals as our #1, and parades, functions for other organizations that come in that want flags posted, ceremonies, flag folding at schools for education, and it's a lot of community services.
If you wanted to make some suggestions to viewers about how to get connected in assisting veterans in our community, whether they're a veteran or not, it doesn't matter, they're Americans, right? So, Mike, what would you say? How would you want to guide people to get involved?
You could call my office at 346-1310 and ask for me, Mike Clements, the Veteran Service Officer, and I will put those people in contact with the various veterans organizations. In our community, we've got a lot of things going on. We have an organization called Dreier up and coming here, which is getting online in the near future, and that is a valuable volunteer opportunity for people. Dreier, I don't have time to go into their mission and everything, but it's basically a peer mentoring place for veterans to go to have a cup of coffee and speak with their comrades, and it's a peer mentoring kind of program. The federal VA is going to hold a stand down for veterans, homeless veterans, in 2013. It's in the planning process now. It'll be held in Wausau, but I'll be part of that planning process.
And what's a stand down, Mike, just for everybody to understand?
A stand down is, in military terms, a stand down is usually, there could have been an accident taking place. It's a chance to stop, step back, take a look at what you're doing, how you're doing things, and assess the way things are going. And a stand down in this context it's an outreach to homeless veterans to get them access to the benefits that they need. #1 in priority, homelessness is a problem. The Secretary of the Federal VA has tasked the VA with ending veteran homeless by 2015, so that's the goal. And towards that goal, I support the federal VA in their efforts to eliminate veterans' homelessness. And I can also assist veterans finding homeless shelter if that's what the need is.
So if folks want to get involved, they can give the Veteran Service Office a call.
Yes.
And we'll connect them. But Duane, what would you suggest? They can call you too, or they can just stop in at any of the other veteran service organizations and just say, I'm here to help, how can I help?
Yes, there are a number of organizations that do have buildings and what we call a home post. And this isn't all done by veterans. The community has a great support. A lot of people in the community help the veterans make donations, and without them, it wouldn't go as well.
And the Veterans of Foreign War Post 10262 down in Plover is a place anybody can help by going to have a fish fry on Friday. I learned that this week. I didn't realize that you were using that as a fundraiser to help again, raise money so that we can serve more veterans in our community. Those are great ways, and there are more for sure. As we start to wrap up our show, I know we just have a few moments left. I'd just like to say that I really am grateful for you being here today, and I'm exceptionally grateful for all the veterans who have served our country, who are out in our community, and who are viewers here. Next month at the show, we're going to have Al Hawker. He's the Director of Information Technology in Portage County Government. I'll see you then. Thank you.